such a hard lane. I think Yopaj is going to be able to snowball off the back of that. For SMG, they have to play perfectly. They have to get those rotations out from Afu onto mid. And if it doesn't come out, you know, that's where the worry comes in, because that snowball effect they need their lineup to have is going to be taken out once more. And I think the heroes all have the same timings. They all have kind of the same power spikes from Game 1's draft. So it's all about just not repeating those mistakes from Game 1 and kind of just pulling off your own peaks here.
Level 1 fight break. They seem very interested in him as FBZ. He's going to try and bait them forward into the high ground of that triangle, but everyone's waiting on the high ground, waiting as the arrow is going to fly right into Roger. But do you have the follow-up? Not quite. It will reveal exactly where they are. D-Ward on the cliff. Will surely be able to secure both those boundary runes down the bottom side. SMG, though, they'll be able to get the top boundary runes, no problem. While we're around, we may as well start with that top lane where you are going to see Afu rotate up with the possible Spirit Breaker. Of course, he's going to be, well, I assume he's going to rotate down to the bot lane, and he will. But the Spirit Breaker Tide combination, John, not something we get to see too often here against Skem and Jackie on the Busan line. How do you feel about the bot lane?
I don't know if it's going to be applying enough pressure onto Jack Boys. I think you still have the same issue. It's a dual melee lane up against dual range. I think Jackie can just sit back, play with his Mystic Snake if things get tough. Maybe by level 2, level 3, you feel a lot better here for Afu. You do have some good gush plays to make for the right click damage of a Tide. But Jackie's very well protected, and we've seen Skem before. He's willing to throw his body forward, he's willing to die for his core, and that's exactly what Jackie wants. He just wants to sit back and farm. So if all SMG can find is pressure on a Lion, you're not really getting your money's worth out of this duo, and this duo is very EXP hungry. Spirit Breaker in general just is, Tide is as well, so Afu is going to need to soak as much as possible before those mid rotations to slow down Yopaj.
Certainly so. Playing mid one and Roger against FBZ and Kings. Mid one on that Morphling again, along with Roger on that Tusk, so a very similar lane here for SMG. Because they are up against the Pango of FBZ now, so not quite the Beastmaster, but I'd say there's still a lot of kill potential from Boom Esports this top lane. Because you are looking for an arrow to land on at least Roger to be able to secure that kill, but knowing Tims, he will eventually get one. No, SMG tries to deal with this, but John, is there anything in particular we should look out for at this top lane, or?
Nah, I think it's still going to play the same. SMG's just going to have to take it slow. They could look to be a bit more aggressive on FBZ. I think with it not being the Beastmaster or slow, it's not going to slow down your own movement forward. So Roger might be able to find the angle once he does have Snowball up. He's also taking a lot of damage out of regen. This is a really rough spot for our Tusk once more. Tim's just doing really good in trading with the enemy support. Like, he keeps Roger so low that he can't walk up to pop tag team, and that means you're not getting any value from that level 1 spell of Roger, and he's just getting harassed constantly. Sure, mid one's still fine. It's not like you're too slowed down and less than the Beastmaster.
Oh, Dire's courier got killed. Are you kidding me? Weak.
In your face.
70% comes in clutch. Afu gonna stop the courier going down. Might even be able to chase Skem now as he's got a rotation in from the mid lane, out from Moon.
Morty, can you
this
smell
might be
that
first one to come out for the Ember as Moon is able to pick it up and Skem. Well, like you said, John, he was very, very deep and giving that first blood gold the way of Moon, especially when he's struggling against Yopaj in that mid lane. It's gonna be a great comeback mechanic for the Ember.
Yeah, it's a great way for him because his lane is kind of shut down. You see that CS board right now, 20-7 for Yopaj, 13-0 for Moon, and we talked a lot about this in draft. You're seeing it in play now. Snapfire just dominates that lane. Like, there's not much Moon can do about it. He does opt for Sleight of Fist and Flame Guard still, but I think the emphasis has to be on that Sleight of Fist to dodge some of those plays Yopaj will want. He's about to hit 5, he's gonna hit 6 a lot faster, and that's the point where you get a bit scared as Ember, because kisses come out. Without chains, you can't save yourself. Without remnant, you can't run, and we aren't seeing those rotations onto mid yet.
Radiant's
lane though, FBZ has been rotated on by Afu. Shards are going to be there, but FBZ, he holds on to the swashbuckle, so he's always able to get out just fine. And even gets salved up by Tims. Back to that mid lane though, like you mentioned, I mean, this Snapfire just not losing to the Ember, and Moon still doing his best to try and keep up, but it looks like it's going to be another great game here for Yopaj. And I feel like this is one of the heroes that really opened our eyes to how good this player was, right? Like we used to watch this mid snap come out constantly from OB Neon, as you mentioned, and we'll hold that thought because Arfu top lane is going to drop, and now Roger is going to be chased down by FBZ and Tims, but a nice chance to block the way is mid one. Will try and chase down Tims, but is unable to keep up. So Arfu does end up going down, and they're unable to find a nice trade for themselves on SMG. In fact, mid one needs to be very cautious with that HP juggle. It's going to be fine for now. In fact, mid lane is where the action's happening. Yopaj finding a solo pickoff onto Moon prior to that level 6 mark. And we've seen that one before, haven't we, John?
Yep, it's level 6, it's the kisses coming out, get the cookie on the creep wave, you find an easy kill. And let me tell you, I've been playing a lot of Snap Power offlane. If I can make that work at the same timing, you know it's just devastating when Yopaj does it. It's just ridiculous. Like, the early spikes of this hero in a great solo lane is nearly impossible to play against. We haven't seen those rotations out from Afu. He's been focused top. So I think that choice from SMG to focus on under lanes instead of mid is hurting them. They might be able to kill off Skem, who was on a bit of a run to contest a bit of farm. But he looks like he might be able to run. No lucky bashes out from Afu. And while Afu's moving around like that, Mike, not only are you giving up mid, but you're giving Jackboys a very free lane bot. He is under some pressure from Raging, who is willing to put his body forward. But this is still some really strong farm out from the Deuce, and we already know what Jackie's timings are of this hero. If this lane does go pretty tough, he's always got the jungle to play with anyway.
You've got to give a lot of credit to Skem, right? Like, we didn't really give him too much credit last game, even though he was making so many plays in that line, but the fact that he recognizes that Jackie does not need his help, and even as that pos 5 line, he just starts rotating around and doing just annoying things like taking farm off Moon as he's farming that small cap. It really does start to get to you and have a pretty big impact later on. Skem, I mean, just finding something to do on a pos 5 line when you're level 3 is already difficult enough, but he's finding ways to keep himself busy and not affect the farm of his position 1, which is also very nice. Jackie just able to soak XP by himself, Raging while he can farm very well in the time, just can't do anything about the Deucer. And in fact, there's a rotation now onto Raging Potato. Yopaj has shown up. They have the Mortimer's Kisses in about 3 seconds, so they just...
Dire's top tower is under attack. Come on, get with it.
Shutting back
Dire's
up.
top tower is under attack.
It's all that big stack of neutrals, and it does seem like they want to try and contest with this tide. Problem is, Boom Esports are going to remain around and try to protect this. Jing, though, is going to make his way over and a little bit greedy with this creep wave. In fact, Moon even going to show up on the end to make sure he is safe. Yopaj even being charged while this is happening, just to give that vision over. Raging, he hasn't backed off yet. Still very confident with that ulti up. The fact that he's so tanky, but now the snowball gonna go with Skem, and the charge is also there from Yopaj, and now a big ravage out. Raging timing it perfectly. Japoy though still gonna jump to the low ground, but Moon should be able to chase him down slowly but surely and eventually find this kill. As Yopaj, he will still keep trying to run, and Moon, well, he doesn't actually have enough. He can't chase him down much further without any remnants. Yopaj still gets himself out of there. The only kill they really end up getting is one as they'll try back in onto Tims.
Oh boy, Dire's bottom
Tims though
tower
has 2 leap charges. Gonna bait them a little bit further as now Skem has respawned back in onto the tusk they go, and it does seem like they're gonna be able to get a bit of revenge here against SMG. Skem does a little bit of a running man for a bit of a celebration.
Yeah, they managed to force a lot of movement out from SMG. They don't find anything really beyond
Dire's
the stacks,
middle
which is
tower's
still a
under
big
attack.
take. But it's not the only stacks in the map. There's still a good amount of triangle stacks for Jackie, and while that happens, Jackie is still free farming. Ardusa is running a lot faster than Morphling just by nature of the hero. You are seeing mid one being aggressive on FBZ, not enough to clean up. And I think this is the worry, right? You're investing a lot of resources to try and slow down this bot lane, but you're not really affecting Jackie at all. you maybe are affecting the snowball on Yopaj this time around, but he's got kisses back up. They're smoked up. They're going to look for that play once more.
Cookie's off the mark this time, but they got the Earth Spike and they've got the Hex into the arrow,
Watch
so it
out.
looks like
It's
Moon
a killing
is still
spree.
gonna drop. Not reacting quite fast enough to Skem making his move in. He did have remnants, but action time just was not there.
And you've got to be concerned about that. Like, you still have a lot of good control coming out from Boom, and they have this early spike. I think SMG, it feels like after that bot jungle fight, they just kind of grouped back and farmed up again, which again, it doesn't benefit SMG because you're losing that farm more to Adusa. Mid one is getting space, but we've seen the Morphling power spikes. It is a lot later because of the farm acceleration Adusa does have when it's enabled. I think for SMG, they need a few more levels up. Like, you want maybe level 5 on Roger before you fully commit, and level 6 definitely up and off through before you actually start charging around. But they have to get that flow in. They have to be able to match the space from Boom, who are just willing to run all across the map, making space happen
Dyer's
for the big
courier.
core.
He bit the big one.
And
There's a
surprisingly,
job opening.
there's just no one
in case
running down
anyone's
Jackboys. They
interested
know
for
he's alone.
courier.
They've seen everyone else rotate mid. And the Deuce is just very safe. They have Roger here now, but it's a level 4 Tusk. What's he gonna do?
He shards blocks himself, unfortunately. Roger up a bit there by Jackie, but Jackie's not going to waste his time with the chase. His only job is to hit creeps for the next 10-15 minutes. No need for him to try and get aggressive in this game. Last time around, still Tim's. Found out by Moon and Roger. Roger will be
Oh
there
boy,
from
Dyer's
our
middle
food.
tower's
Tim's will
under
try to
attack.
leap his way out. He does have Moonlight Shadow. It looks like it's going to be enough just to leap away. In fact, Arrow is going to land on Moon. The rotations are coming in. Yopaj has joined. In fact, they found the Spirit Breaker, so Arfu trying to find a way out. But the Hex again from Skem going to lock him down into the finger. He one down for SMG. Roger's just going to try and hide and pretend he's a tree right now. Looks like it's going to be enough for him to survive a little. Oh, the courier, no. It won't give the vision. Either will Tim's. Oh, it does. Tim's, he checks the tree line. That's some
Oh, man,
great
this
game
guy's
sense out from
dominating.
Tim's. Realizing Roger may still be around, and you saw the little micro there with the courier, John. That was on purpose.
Oh yeah, just checks the tree. He knew someone else was missing from
Oh,
that gank.
Radiant's middle tower
Managed
is
to
under
punch her
attack.
off. I can't believe how close SMG took that fight while still ignoring Jackie. Right, like they were chasing Tim's. Jackie was just by the tier 1 farming. And he still manages to farm. He bails out right in time, goes up to the triangle. They are chasing FBZ now.
They might have him. He's got no swash. He did have stick charges, but perma bash is there from Arfu, so a nice pickup for Moon. They want a bit more. They want to infiltrate those ancient stacks and try to slow down Jackie's farm once again. Raging will jump in with the anchor smash, but I think Boom
Dyer's
will
middle
try and
tower is
force the
under
fight
attack.
here. They've got the Mortimer's Kisses. They're just lacking FBZ at the moment. But you definitely don't want to give that farm away to SMG. So Jackie's going to come back in with the Mystic Snake. X is out on the
boy, Dyer's middle tower is under
That's the Spirit Breaker gone. And Jackie is just farming the Ancients right now. He's not even focusing heroes. Raging though, will go for the Ravage, and they found the Snapfire, but Yopaj is still alive. Still running away. He's not down yet. In fact, a big Earth Spike Skem. He'll find 2. Mid one. He drops first, and Raging, he probably does not make it out either, as somehow the Snapfire has completely juked out Moon. Once again, Yopaj will walk away unscathed, and they even got most of the big creeps.
Yeah, I mean, you still got a good amount out on Raging Potato. I think he got a lot of that CS, maybe around 70% of all those creeps.
Dyer's
But
middle
it
tower is under
costs his own
attack.
life. You're still giving AoE gold, AoE XP out to Dusa, who shouldn't be able to fight like this. And I like that SMG are finally contesting that triangle, finally trying to jump Jackie, but Blue are
Dyer's
in a
top
position
tower
to
is
defend.
under
They've got
attack.
Travels up in Yopaj. He's going to be all over the map. He does not care when these fights break out. He's going to be ready for it. And we are starting to see why SMG chose this Tide. It allows them to contest these stacks very well, but they need that follow-through engage. They need the follow-through control. And I don't know what
Radiant's
targets they can go
bottom
for.
tower
Like,
is
they
under
tried to
attack.
jump Yopaj, he still stays alive. I think they need to be a bit closer. It felt like mid one was just a bit too far to get his waveform to land for the damage, to get the right-click damage off. And Nat Snapfire is deceptively tanky. 1.6k HP, it's a strength hero. It's actually pretty hard to burst
Radiant's
down if
bottom
you're not ready
tower is
for it.
under attack.
Oh, absolutely. About Skem. Still confident enough to try and go snowball starter.
Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is
Tim's
under
now going to
attack.
join in with the Moonlight Shadow and the Earthquake to set up. He's around to try and defend, but it won't matter. The finger is just way too quick from Scam. His third kill of the game already on this Lion, and now they know where mid one is.
Oh, Radiant's
Boom
top
Esports, they
tower is under
probably won't be
attack.
able to capitalize off that knowledge right now, but it won't matter. They know he's in the triangle somewhere, and that does mean Jackie's probably safe across the map, and that should be all that matters for Boom at the moment.
He's still building up a really good gold lead, 7.4k in comparison to mid one at 6.3, so 1.1k lead, not massive. But as long as you buy that space out, that lead will constantly grow. Deuce just farms a lot faster. They're forced to rotate up onto FBZ. It feels like FBZ this game is just really a big bait here.
Yeah, he's got Rolling Thunder. It's going to be way too hard to try and lock him down. In fact, FBC's actually turned back around for a bit more damage onto Roger. Down to strike 30. He's going to lock him down a bit longer, but FBZ swatch. No, it's not available. They've finally got him, it seems. They do take him out. A little bit of a circle he did there, John. It does end up costing him.
Dire's middle tower is
They
under
managed to
attack.
get the punchman off. They got good bashes. True, that spell immunity
Whoa!
on the Rolling Thunder. Another
just
strike,
killed
even a
Radiant's
snowball can
courier.
actually give you something to put back. Yopaj going
Radiant's
blind.
bottom
This is it.
tower is under attack.
Oh, you better hold on to your
He
hat.
is, but he's
Oh,
just
man,
getting the kill
wait,
anyway
get
onto
up on out
Roger.
of
That's
here, 'cause
five,
Radiant's
baby.
fortified
Five.
structures.
There's no
Oh,
accident
we're going to
anymore.
chase down Scam
Oh,
on the line, but
Radiant's
we've seen
bottom
this
tower is
before.
under attack.
Scam just so easily getting away from absolutely everybody. Another great Earth Spike as well. He's just been so deceptively tanky in the way that he could just run from everything. They try to chase him down, but they just can't keep up. This Lion constantly wasting the time of SMG.
Oh, jeez, bro. Radiant's bottom tower just
Like
got
it's Tim's,
denied.
but can they get him? It's away towards our Fu. You could try for the charge, and you've got the tide around to help out, but Tim's, he's going to go into the
Dire's
tree
top
line and
tower
just
is
fog
under
them
attack.
out. They just can't charge and
That
stun him
force
up.
field
He's
leads me to
fine.
believe that Dire just fortified their
They
structure.
don't even find a tower gold. Great deny out from Tim's while they're trying to
Dire's
spend
top
their time
tower's
there.
under attack.
Opening space for Jack Boys up top. So they're just forced to movement away from the Medusa every single time. And SMG aren't finding anything
Dire's
even
top
from these
tower's
scraps are
under
being given.
attack.
Yopaj, no, being committed on.
Not my problem,
He
but
is.
Dire's
They're going
top
to try and
tower
take down the
just fell.
Starfire, but we've seen this before. The guard block is there, however. Yopaj this time might be dead, and he is. A decent scatter blast, but that's about all he could do. So they do get the first life of this snap. They'll even find Scam. Rather
Dire's top
FBZ,
tower
but
is under attack.
Hango just proving to be a little bit
Radiant's
too
middle
tanky.
tower is under attack.
Able to walk himself out.
Man, you might as well save that energy
That'll even
because
cost you.
Radiant is fortified.
He is going to find last two because though he's onto the Medusa, trying to he just pops his phone gaze back in onto the Spirit Breaker. The Ravage though will come out, but Arfu has already gone, and now with the Rolling Thunder, they can really chase down the side of SMG, and it looks like they should at least have Raging Potato to boot. The Raging is going to try and buy a bit more time, and a bit counter is his team. They're going to try again on the Skim. They'll take the line down. He gets caught out, and he's going to drop. Tim's with the arrow, landing perfectly. With the cookie, Raging will turn around, will pop the fire from Yopaj. And FBZ will be
Radiant's
the
bottom
one to
tower
take
is
the
under
kill.
attack.
A 4-for-1 trade, I believe it was.
Dire's
Boom
middle tower
Esports
just took a
again,
big
just dominating
beating.
game number
Gone.
2.
And we're seeing the same thing come
Radiant's
out from
bottom tower
SMG
is
here,
under
right? They're
attack.
forced to bring mid one in for these fights. Jack Boy's just reciprocating because he does have this gold advantage. He's just better off.
Oh
He's
boy,
level
Dire's
15
middle
on
tower is
Medusa,
under
level
attack.
13 on mid one. He's got more stats to play with, more damage flying out with just the Manta Dragon. So we've seen this last
Dire's
game.
courier got
That's the
killed.
time
Are
when
you
Jackie's
kidding me?
willing to show
Weak.
up, contribute to these fights. And for SMG, they're going to have to wait for that Ags once more in mid one, which is still a ways off. Now, they are still set up for a fight. They don't have the longest cooldowns to wait for outside of Ravage. They can constantly force the issue here, but Jackie is perfectly clear. He's just running up here.
They're going to try. This one is around, but can you actually deal with this guy? Jackie still stands his ground. They're still throwing everything at it. Now with the rollers trying to be down on Manos, and Jackie's in big trouble. He's still trying to ban by the side. But everybody's surely going to die and dust. But what's he going to cost the side? What's going to do with it? There was Moon on the Ember. Raging's low as well. FBC just controlling everybody up on the side of the Dire. But after, he's back in with the charge. It's just not enough though. Raging is still going to
He's now
drop.
dominating. He's
I
dominating.
guess maybe you could call that worthwhile. It's still a 2-for-1 trade in the favor of Boom Esports, but I guess at least they got the Medusa.
Yeah, in a way, it's still a win. If you're putting Jackie down, you managed to get some good AoE gold flowing away from mid one. you lose 2 cores in exchange for it. It doesn't feel as good as it should for the side of SMG, and I think that's what's important. Like, yeah, you're slowing down Jackie, you're getting a little bit more on mid one. But it's not just mid one who needs farm. It's also Moon. It's Moon who needs his BKB, who needs the Ags up, who needs a Maelstrom up for damage, and that also takes time for a render. All the cores of SMG are just a bit too behind in comparison, and they all need to catch up, say for me. FPZ though.
Jackie boy, but they're gonna try and get rid of him first, and they do. Nice kill there from mid one, even if the arrow does land there from Tim's. Almost taking out the Morphling, but he had survived through the initial onslaught. Maybe he could have turned that. Still another nice kill for SMG. They are still 5k behind, but most of that farm is sitting on Jackie right now, so you could just deal with the Medusa in a team fight, or at least everybody else around him. Chances are you're going to be sitting pretty on SMG's end of things,
Radiant's top tower
they
is
still
under
need their
attack.
own farm before they man up as 5 and full confidence up attack the lane. If they get next farm, do they have the follow-up or the snowball? It's going to buy a bit of time. That scam has already gone down. Roger though, he brings the Ember right back in, and he's going to lose his own life, but he does save Moon. All that matters right now for SMG is just ensuring this Ember can keep just taking off.
They find a good pick up.
Struggling. Yopage. You'll separate out onto R2. Big chase on though from SMG as mid one and Moon will commit the remnants, but I think Yopage is going through the out of there, and now the turnaround might be upon us as FBZ. Rolling thunder from the backside. Arrow is going to land Tim's. He doesn't miss these arrows, John. He'll take down Moon, and Raising Potato, well, we've seen this before. He's going to try to run, and he does have the help around him. They may not pursue any further. They've also called out R2. FBZ. Oh my god. Jackie, he will get right to work. Raging just somehow still moving out of there.
He's dominating now.
They do
He's
eventually
dominating
get
him.
him. And now they can chase for the rest. FBZ will at least find
Tower
Roger.
under attack. Not so fast for him. Mega kill. Extra kill in here.
Spots him out with the Infernal and an ultra killer for the Sapphire. Jackie does take away the rampage. How dare you, Jackie?
There's no iPhone for him if he keeps doing that. Yopage, man, he's doing so much work, and all of Boom, honestly, are just playing so well. Getting their positions right, they're forcing SMG in every time with their Morphling to take these engagements, and they get good ravages. They get some good saves with the snowball. The issue is all the AoE control of Boom punishes you for large snowballs. Like the cookie comes in, the Earth Spike's there, the Rolling Thunder's there. They're just playing so well as a unit from Boom, and this is the impressive part. They take in this new part of this machine with Jackie. It's still working well. SMG not going to get this one up though.
They're going to try and fight for the Stone Gates and the Rolling Thunder. Then BZ, he's found some targets again. Into the mortar, but he's just moving. He wants to shoot. He'll fire back and try to reinitiate this team. Buybacks already from SMG. They jump back in on the Deucer. Jackie's falling low in terms of mana, but he does pop that Stone Gates and R2. He was charging the wrong target.
Hunting bounties.
Couldn't lock him down. So they'll try back in for the Roshan. Mid one does get the Aegis up, but can he survive as the arrow has landed on the Morph? It looks like he can. So boom, they will lose the Roshan. They might even lose Yopage here, but he does manage to blink away in time. And with the Iron Sky all around from Jackie, it's going to be Roger's life to pay. They even keep trying to fight, but the arrow again onto Moon. Tim's is just not missing. Mid one waits for him to try and help out, but now he's in trouble. He does at least get the stun off, but Yopage is there. Still strength morphing. Maybe he has a chance. He'll wait for him the other way. Still the chase is on Tim's. He will not get the stun for the Bull Cannon Blast. Mid one. He's trying to make magic happen, but he loses the Aegis. He will still have his real life, however.
Little rascals are hitting Dyer's bottom
Team
tower.
Esports, even if they lose the Roshan, they still came out with a great fight, forcing 3 buybacks out from SMG.
That's disastrous for SMG, Mike. 3 buybacks, 3
Dyer's
buybacks as
bottom
well for
tower's under
SMG.
attack.
That massive commitment for the Roche, they get it in the end. So they take that tool away from Boom, but they instantly lose the Aegis anyway. I think Boom's still very happy with that with how that fight ended up. Maybe not the ideal situation for Boom, but they win out in the end. SMG. It feels like they're being forced to make all of these plays. Like we're seeing Moon just buy back, jump back in, wants to use the BKB, but he doesn't have damage. Like he doesn't have something like Akai, he doesn't have a Maelstrom, he doesn't have even Phase Boots or Corrosion for right click. So he comes in and it's just not enough. The follow through is still not there. You've got the Ags up in mid one, so you can get the double charge action going with Spirit Breaker form. But again, it's a lack of DPS. Even with the control from Ravage, even with the chains out, they need a little bit more farm to flow in, and maybe it's at this point where, you know, once your Morphling gets something else on top, you start to feel a lot better with the charges once more, as we saw SMG in game 1. But I worry about what you're giving to Boom. Scotty up on Medusa, Jackie's already hitting hard, mitigating some of the healing from the strength morph on our Morphling, and Boom are just going to smoke up once more. They don't have much to wait for in terms of cooldown, so they can just rinse and repeat here.
Under attack.
Now gonna fight into the Ravage this time, but like you mentioned, they've got all their spells available. See a Moonlight Shadow to sneak their way up to the high ground.
Towers under attack.
Oh, they're gonna take the bait, Jackie. The mid. Right now, let's go. He's gonna be out. Good one, he rolled right into the the chase is on, just driving all over the place, finding out another hero. He'll get the time. Ravage, or maybe he can. A 4-man, in fact, 5-man Ravage down. But do they have the follow-up? Do they really have the damage? It doesn't seem like it. He's got no damage.
It's only a monster kill.
He's only got a BKB. You must chase him down. He's already a 4-4-1 range. And he might even have the Ember. They forced him to BKB up. But try up the game. Trying to get something going to the top. You can't keep chasing him down. The Yule's up, but no cookie. It's the wrong way around.
Middle towers under attack.
So a 2-for-4 trade the way of Boom Esports. Was a very desperate Ravage play coming out from SMG, but I suppose they had to get something.
Yeah, it's just a follow through. As you said, there's no damage coming out to him. Like, they need more on Moon. He does go for a blink. He wants to be mobile. He wants to kind of weave in and out, maybe take care of the back line first. But that takes a while without these damage item up, because these supports on Boom can just stall out for such a long time and make him very punishable if you overcommit. As we said from the drafts, like they can rip through the back line, but they can't afford to overcommit like that. Jack
You've got this one charging and himself in this Morphling with the axe up. Problem is, again, they are lacking that follow-up damage, even if they have this early starts. All Thunder, he's holding his traps. Get the Mirana down, but now mid-run, he's been caught out again. He'll be alright to get after. Setting up for triple kill, and here comes one. Just trying to take it away, but it's going to be another kill. That goes the way of Boom Esports. As Scam has just proved to be such an issue on this Lion.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
Constantly setting up for the team fights. They just still can't kill him, John. They cannot kill Scam.
No, and as we said in draft, they're trying to kill Scam like in game 1. They're maybe overcommitting to an extent. They just don't have the follow-up damage to instantly burst down the line and clean up afterwards. And the follow-up control from everyone else from here is just too much. How do you deal with Jack Wilson? If you can't deal with a Lion, if you can't deal with the Mirana fast enough, and you're barely killing off this Pangolier in time, how do you actually take care of Medusa in these bigger fights? Because he's got a Silver Edge. Jack Boys has the Silver Edge. Manta, Scotty up, going for a BKB next. This guy is nearly unkillable. You don't have enough damage out on your Morph, on your Ember. You've got good team fight potential with a Ravage. You can stall this game out with the Yags. Perhaps that's what SMG has to go for now. Just keep shoving back the waves, keep buying time, saving their high ground to get the build-up they need on their Ember, on their Morph, because as it stands, it just doesn't feel like they have enough. Now the worry is, if you stall the game out like that, you're giving this opportunity for Jack to grow bigger and for Europunch to hit his massive spike swing. Level 21 now, he's got the level 20 talent for Will Shredder using attack. He's going for a Silver Edge himself. He is also going to be a secondary Medusa if this goes all the way to level 25. So you've got basically 2 Medusas to deal with. I don't know if you can handle that.
I do love that build-up. It's always fun when you get near that level 25 mark as the Snapfire. Yeah, just with the Silver Edge alone, like it used to be the Daedalus build-up, but the crit still comes out from the Silver Edge, so why the hell not go down that route instead? Now just gonna go high ground it seems. Boom Esports, just nothing to fear at the moment. They've got this great wall in the form of Jackie, and like you mentioned just a second ago, you can't really kill the Deuce here. They have done it once, but that's about it. SMG, 5-man smoker. Maybe they can find a solo pick off first with FBZ. He's gonna get spotted on the cliff, but it won't matter. He's already got that Rolling Thunder going as Mid1 is forced to waveform away and try to run from FBZ. It looks like they're gonna be just fine. Everyone from SMG is out of there. They're not gonna try and immediately force a fight, it seems. Even with that Rolling Thunder down, this proved to be a real problem for them throughout these fights. They might just have to wait this one out.
I think they're satisfied with not taking any losses. Good positioning from Boom supports, clearing out the jungle, cutting off that smoke rotation. And for SMG, giving their position away like that makes it a lot harder to come in. And you still don't know how well Jackie's positioned. You didn't know where Skem was. Roshan, we're going to see in about half a minute. I think this is where the next fight will really break out. Boom in a good position to take it. They've got the outpost to pop. They might be able to find some freebies if they're not careful. Oh, you
Shards up with the cookie follow-up and they get him. Boone, he gets a DD room, but it's a very expensive route to pick up for him as even Raging Potato has been caught. Have the Spinal X to try and get away, but Yopaj is all over it. He knows the tricks. 17 kills already for this Snapfire. That is just incredible.
And that's terrifying. Like, you can't even show up on the Ember. Just the instant stunts are too much. And now Mid1 down bot, Mike.
He's not Trank morphing, John. He does get it off in the end, but the Snowball is going to try and buy him a little bit more time to just waveform away. But look at this. They just chase him all the way down. Roger just gets completely ignored. FBZ still trying, as there goes your Tusk. They'll keep the vision up with this Pango. But Mid1 surely should be able to get himself out of this. Keep in mind, though, while this is happening, Jackie's hitting racks. Jackie's got the high ground. Alright, and they've still got Mid1, by the way. Mid1 has officially been caught out. The arrow on the backside. They're going to buy it back, but it's too late. It is way too late for the buyback.
They leave the racks. They're going for the fight. They're letting Jackie solo the high ground when he's very vulnerable by himself. They're just opting to take this fight.
Jackie's just playing an RPG right now on his own. He doesn't need to join the team at the moment as they are still fighting. You are correct. They have not backed off, but Arthur's already gone. They at least want to get down on the Lion. It's still not looking good for him as Jackie is still just taking all their buildings away. This is the greatest bait I've seen in a long time. There's Arthur. He's going to chase down the Pango. Sure, you get another hero, but you've lost 2 lanes at once. And now your Page is back in. They're onto the Ember. Merge will be safe with the Snowball for now, but for how long? There's your Ravage up by Raging, trying to turn this one around. But can you deal with Jackie? I don't think they can, John. I do not think they can deal with him. Even if it was 1v5, the Medusa is perfectly fine. And Boom Esports are now 2 Raxes up in this game number 2.
What the heck is going on? SMG, they bit the bait. Their high ground is almost gone. They have a range Rax in the top lane. Doesn't really matter. They're protected from Megas with a tier 2 bot, but to be willing to trade 2 racks for a chance to kill off those heroes, to kill off Leopage and FBZ, that was a bit much. I think that puts SMG in a very tough position now to defend. You still can't deal with Jackboys. He has a BKB, he has not popped at all. He has potential to go into the Ags build up next, and Roshan is back up with Boom in a pretty good position now. They still have to wait for the respawns here, and SMG does manage to retake their jungle with the outpost. They can contest. They don't have Ravage for about a minute 10 though, which makes contesting a very hard prospect. They will smoke up here.
How do you even contest that? I mean, look, Mid1's 12k behind Jackie, John, in terms of farm. 12k at 33 minutes. I realize it's a Medusa you're up against, but 12k is kind of ridiculous. So here we go. They're going to try and go into that triangle, but the D-wards are immediately out here with Jackie. Both basically broken. Roshan is now officially up, but unless everything goes perfectly for SMG, it's going to be impossible to try and counter the Roshan players. Arthur not going to be scouted out, but he does break the smoke. In fact, never mind. He went for the charge, and he's going to pay for it. They just annihilate the Spirit Breaker. FBZ, he's going to have a look for a bit more, but misses out. It won't matter though, because they've got a nice Roshan to go back to, and Arthur has no buyback available.
This is not going to take long at all. Oh.
Yeah, they're going to try and deal with FBZ, but he has the Aeon Disc and the Spider Legs. Jackie, he'll move on to the high ground. Ignoring Roshan, he wants the team fight. They might be back. Time to go back to the Roshan now, as the smoke is going to be there from SMG. I suppose you could try for the Aegis Steel once again. That might be the way to do it. Way in, we'll throw the shards out for vision. Meanwhile, Moon gonna blink his way in. Very aggressive play here from Moon, as he will pop the BKB. He's trying to go after FBZ, who's perfectly fine right now. Maybe without the roll-up though, he won't be, but no, he's still alive. Ravage is there. They are still trying onto this Pango, and they will eventually get it. They've lost Roger for this, and now maybe Raging. He does not get petrified up, but never mind, because an arrow does land onto Moon. He was just stunned up permanently. They get the Ember, they'll get the Tusk, and now they're having a look over for mid one. See if we can land a nice arrow here from Tims. Ziopage, he's on the chase, but a nice waveform away from mid one is going to allow him to get out. And instead, they'll go back into the Roshan.
And no worries now. No Ravage out from SMG. No buybacks available from the Ember. And that's going to be Roshan number 2 with a free shard. Big spike out for Jackboys once again. And it just makes these fights so much harder. Like, they can just smoke up, they can just take that tier 2 bot, go for the mega creeps, or just go for the end. I don't know if SMG has enough to even fight on their tier 4s right now.
On mid one, Scam, not gonna be him. Rizzy, around for other people. Moonlight Shadow and the Silver Edge now from Yopaj, they should be able to sneak their way in. Instead, however, they found Arthur and they prefer to go for the supports first.
Oh my god, Mike. Level 25 Yopaj, second Medusa here.
Uh-oh.
We're at that point. I don't think you can focus Yopaj and Jackie. And you're gonna have to focus both of them, because they both do a ridiculous amount of damage.
Would you say that SMG is still moving under gunfire now, John?
They definitely are, with the little Shredder coming into play, Mike. They are moving under gunfire here, and they've got to dodge. They've got to find some cover, find an opening to break. Because those bullets are going to pierce right through if they're not careful.
I mean, look at Jackie. Just hitting the buildings. He does not care about anything around him. Hurricane Pike up now. Moon again with an aggressive blink in, but damage is just so lacking from this Ember at the moment. Again, Jackie understands with the double life, it's going to be too hard to deal with him. So he'll just keep going onto those T4 towers. Raging Potato, meanwhile, going to be broken up, but again, just being completely ignored here by Ardusa. Jackie. He eventually will back off for a bit. Got to address that bot lane, and there is a double damage rune spawned up in that bot rune spot, so you may as well just make your way over, secure the rune onto Yopaj or the Dusa, and it looks like Yopaj will take it for himself, because why the hell not? I suppose you just go for the mega creeps, just for safety reasons, or maybe just force the fight again.
I think a fight would just lead to a tier 4. So I think SMG has to be very cautious as to when they force that fight. They have a lot to lose. I think they just force Boom to go for the mega creeps play around their last set of racks. That's the ideal situation here for SMG, and they've got to be patient for that. They are trying to play poke and prod, skiving around. They might force the fight here.
May. It feels like they've got to try something. Herring. Coming fight. Was guaranteed to happen because Boom's just obviously very confident with their lead right now. 26k net worth advantage and double life on Jackie. They're gonna find out Tim, the arrow does land onto Moon already. Meanwhile, Raging has jumped in right to the center. Who are they aiming? They got Skim on that line, but now the Stone Gaze has been popped. Jackie, who are we aiming? He'll go after the Tide again. Just willing to get rid of that Ravage as he does now pop it. Mid one though, getting very low as well. They're just grouped up in that tree line, but they do take down the Tide as mid one will charge back in onto FBZ, but he's gone too far. He's gone way too far, but he will waveform back towards the north and try to survive for another day. Oh, the little shredder. Yopaj just melts them. He completely melts the side of SMG, just turreting them down. They might even find Arthur. An ultra kill once again for the Snapfire. In fact, he's looking for the Rampage, John. Up at top lane. Did he find mid one? No, mid one. He'll waveform away to the tier 4 tower. Another ultra kill. I doubt he makes it in time for the Rampage. So you never know. But I think it is about too late.
Yeah, and SMG, they forced the fight right here too. They needed to force Boom up to the rack, so at least there's a little bit more leeway there. Now their ancient's exposed.
And it is Breakdown raging. That'll be a dieback, and my goodness, that's a lot of damage mid one. Waveform's right into them. Moon's been hexed up. That's his life gone. It's mid one and Roger versus the world, but they call it GG. Boom Esports will be the victor of this best of 3 series. And I believe that puts them right through to the upper triple final.
Oh, it does. They do move on. Rampage denied from Yopaj. Jackie is not getting